on Centaur, but now it's just there's really not that many stuns on IG. So if if like the Wraith King is able to tank just a couple spells, the low cooldown stuns coming out from the Tiny as well as the Axe, I think will play really well into the long drawn out fights for Execration, including on top of the fact that they'll probably go Radiance on the Wraith King. So I personally like Execution's draft a lot. I still think IG is the better team, but it really is going to come down to execution in fights. It's an easy cop out as an analyst, but I think this one is really important.
I think if Disruptor can get Puck in his Static Storm, like, they should be able to fight this fine. So I personally like IG's draft for it. I think their execution is very good. They're very disciplined. I think they'll be able to pull it off, personally. Yeah,
you feel like they have the execution, what it takes, because I mean, we like both of their drafts, right? Both the draft from Execration and from IG. Maybe IG's draft is requiring a little more higher execution levels, but they did win the last major, and we know that they can do that, right? And if the position 5 is the easiest to replace, a follow-up, I mean, I hear all cases that IG is gonna be taking this first game.
Be fair, if it's execution based, I literally had to make a video on the fact that IG 5-man Delta split Size's black hole to win that last major, so I'll trust them in team fights.
You're gonna imagine that the coach had something to do with that in terms of practicing and knowing exactly who to go where.
Absolutely.
All right, well, with that in mind, let's find out if they can execute this first game of this 2-game series between IG and Execration. We're heading over to our commentary duo of Sunsfan and Synerin.
You know what's awkward about this, Synerin? I never know when I'm supposed to talk. Like, am I supposed to talk right away? Do I wait for the camera to get to our beautiful faces?
You're supposed to talk as little as possible.
All right, I just heard Shiva in the background saying right away, so I'm going to continue to just wait awkwardly until our faces are shown, and then we start speaking. But IG versus Execration, obviously...
I have a better idea.
Okay, you want to keep going on your tangent? Go ahead.
How about you don't talk when the camera comes to you either, and you just sit there?
Do you want a solo cast?
No, I also just sit there.
Yeah, that's an easy fire right there. But IG versus Execration, Cinderman. IG obviously won the last major, but then the wild cards are missing a player, as the panel talked about. I mean, position 5, you know, Ollie for Super. Like, what's your opinion in terms of, you know, you've been around the block once or twice?
Super's a really good player, and he plays a great support. So I don't think it kind of depends how good shape he's in, right? Like, it's one thing to stand in a position you've played before, but like if you're well trained in Dota recently, if you've like some coaches don't play very much and other coaches play a lot. An example that really comes to mind for me was when Seb was coaching OG. He was playing so much Dota. He was playing like, I don't know, he was playing 10 or 12 hours a day while coaching that team because he really, really wanted to know what he was talking about and leading the team and helping them. If it's similar with Super that he plays a lot, I don't know, but if you're in that kind of shape and you play your role, it's not like stepping in with a team that you're comfortable with shouldn't be too difficult.
I mean, it's another one of those instances where it's still kind of a wild card because you don't know exactly how it's going to go.
Right.
Like, normally, if this was their full lineup, we would say there should be no issue. But then again, they are in the wild card. So there is that aspect of, you know, they've already made it to TI. How much does this matter? I actually don't like that narrative very much because, I mean, Secret is the other team, right? That already made TI, and people were kind of discussing that fact. The first time that Secret was together, people don't remember this. Puppy, Kuroki, No Tail, S4. Who's there? Like, they got rid of Fly. I forget who they actually got for him, but
no, I don't remember. They had Arteezy like 5 times, so it might have been him.
Yeah, one of those times they had Arteezy, but they actually were dominating so much that before TI, they kind of took a break. Right, where they would just, you know, they'd pub and whatnot, but they wouldn't play against other teams. They kind of take it easy because they don't want to share strats, and they got destroyed at TI. So I don't think like you can just take time off and be okay with that. I really, especially in today's day, like that was like 5 years ago. The game is so much more competitive than it used to be.
I think the players are also a little bit more hungry because of the absence of events, right? Like with COVID, there being less opportunities. When you finally get to go to LAN, you really want to show off what you can do, right? Like this is what you're passionate about. You spend, I don't know how many years of your life playing this game. You finally get to play a LAN for the first time in months. Like, of course, they're not here to lose, right? It doesn't look good. They're not like hiding strats or whatever. The whole hiding strats thing is also a bit of a weird thing because, you know, we have patches in Dota regularly. So strategies change. A strategy you have now that's amazing might be really bad in 2 months because your heroes get nerfed. So, like, there's not really any point in not bringing your best game and getting your best result.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, that pocket strats really, they're very inconsistent in use because of that fact, right? Like, you go into a tournament, maybe you have a pocket strat, like, okay, if we're down a game or we're up a game, like, depending on how confident we are, we get this level 1 Roche. You know, we do something where we take that tower at the beginning of the game, but we don't really get to see that very often. Do you think it's just because of the how often the game changes in terms of the meta? Distracting. We're not just talking. The game is about to start. I promise. As you can see, the intro. You know,
production. You actually threatened production to switch scenes.
Production. That's true. Production made sure that we got the talking time at the beginning of the game out of the way. So I'm very happy about that.
Right.
As we see Nico on this, I am very excited. Every time I see Axe, it's just such a cool hero. The fact that you can go for the Shard Manta now, which I don't know, is that like something you do literally every game, or is it still somewhat game dependent? I know it was kind of nerfed, but
I think it's game dependent. I would like to see a Blade Mail this game. I think Blade Mail is really good against mag plus melee carry. Okay. They do so much damage to themselves with it. It's kind of, if you're choosing Axe over other offlaners this game, it's specifically because you're targeting the Jug, right? Like FA pointed out, it's a very good matchup for the Axe both in lane and in game, and I think the Blade Mail will definitely get in there. Just to clarify about the reason we're on camera for so long, I believe there was a little bit of a pause. If you're new here and you're going to watch our future games, don't worry, we will not be rambling like that at the beginning of every game. You'll get your Dota. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be fine.
Why are you prepping people? It's more fun for them to think that we're holding the game hostage so we can talk about nothing useful. There's definitely 2 or 3 people out there that feel that way.
That's the ultimate anime villain. The superpower of just keeping everyone hostage.
We're trying to stick to the theme. I am supposed to be the villain.
You are.
My character is a villain.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know that.
Definitely a death stare into the camera, so you did great.
Thank you, thank you.
You're doing a good job. Let's try to cap off the drafts a little bit. The panel is talking about them a lot. I think they pretty much hit the nail on the head with most of the stuff. I do feel like IG's lineup has a little bit of a higher execution ceiling. It's harder to pull off, but when you do it, it has options that the Radiant can't, where the Radiant is more clear-cut. You know, you have these initiation stuns, you have like Blink Call, you have Coil, you have Tiny Combo into Ice Blast. All of these work very well, but IG has some exceptional counterplay. There's some really cool skewer opportunities against these melee heroes. You have Carapace, which can combo break literally every hero on the Radiant.
Yep.
And I would really like to not see Wraith King go for the Radiance. BSJ was talking about it. I think it's a little bit just because it's like the default thing for Wraith Kings to go for a lot of the time. I think this is a really bad Radiance game. You're against Nyx, who's going to Carapace you, and you're against Wall. Not advisable. I would love to see something like an Armlet Deso build come out of Palos. Maybe you get a Dagger and try to play this high tempo. And with an Armlet Deso, you also kill Roche very fast, which is nice on the Radiant. So
that's true. Roche advantage always gives you a better chance. That's the smartest thing I've ever said, Cinderin. If you kill Roche, you have a better chance of winning. I don't know if you knew that.
It depends if you die all 5 heroes for the kill.
If you just get it, it's fine.
No, that's not fine.
Right, the second Roche is worth though. The Shard
depends if you pick up the items after.
Yeah, you pick up. Of course, you pick up the items. That's the whole point.
You said you kill them.
Right, it's implied. As we have a Battle Hunger applied from Nico onto Mr. Super, their coach, of course. We'll see how he performs in this tournament, but seems to be, I mean, based on the panel and your discussion, it sounds like you're expecting basically them not to miss much of a beat as a result.
I mean, there's probably some sort of a sacrifice, right? Like, it's not going to be full-on Oli mode, but I don't think it's far from, like, Super... Again, it really comes down to how much he's been playing, right? If he's been playing actively, I'm not worried for them.
What are your thoughts on Magnus? As we're going to see, RR. Yeah, RR is in quite a bit of trouble. He will be taken out. It's going to be first blood going the way of IG as Kaka. Yeah, he will be caught by the Wraith Fire Blast. Whoa.
Good sticks. Right. Not enough.
Not nearly enough. But JT, again, this is a hero that, I mean, do they have kill potential on this Darkseer once he hits level 3, once the Ion Shell starts to just push the wave constantly?
You can definitely, like, most melee carries will be struggling a little bit against these lanes. One of the great examples of someone who won't is AniMajor, because he has Blink and the spell kill, but
toss.
Nice toss.
Into the Avalanche. We don't have call yet on Nico, but Super will go down.
Ollie wouldn't have died there. That's what I'm saying.
As Fly, I should say, bombs the Blade Fury, but to no real avail, so kind of a waste there in all honesty. Yeah, I'd love to see a level 3 call taken here from Nico once he hits. That's going to help quite a bit.
That's definitely something that wasn't very popular for Axis to do, like just a month ago. But with the new build-up where you often rush the Vanguard and you play primarily against melee carries, you can definitely see a 1-1-1 build working out a lot of the time.
I mean, speaking of the Vanguard, do you think the nerfs made like much of a difference at all? Like, it feels like it was very minor.
Not that much. Oh, Emo, do you not want the other one? Is he saving it for later?
Yeah, why not? Efficiency.
I guess.
He's confident nobody's going to go up that cliff. I mean, he just showed that he's going there, so they will be communicating the other side that rune's definitely gone.
That's fair.
Kaka. Oh, Koki will actually proc Vacuum.
Oh, good Vacuum.
Was enough to save him for now, but Kaka Sal comes in as well, and it's very close, but he will tumble. RR in the meantime getting chased by JT and this Ion Shell.
Does he have Vacuum?
Cold feet again. And Vacuum has like a 2-minute cooldown, basically. He's just chasing down Palos right now. Under the tier 1, he's going to get the kill. Probably worth, but a double kill for Vincenzo, and I believe he's just going to carry now. So Wraith King will be the support hero. And I mean, if you've seen Aghanim Scepter on AA anytime, it's pretty strong.
I know in your pub games when the support gets a couple of kills, they just start taking lane farm, and they're like, you go woods now. But
yeah, that's the Slack special,
it's
actually.
Not,
anytime you play
no, the Slack special is picking Venom and buying 5 boots.
Yeah, that's true. 5 different boots.
Yeah, it was not good. He went 0-19, and he was definitely the reason we lost that game.
Wow, what a call out there. Goodness.
Yeah. Well, if you deserve it, you deserve it.
That's true. That's true.
You know the saying, sometimes you gotta call a spade, right? Slacks is a spade.
This is true. There's Nico.
Nice toss.
Yep, toss out of the range of the Blade Fury, but the Thunderstrike is continuing to proc. There's the Avalanche, slowing them down. Looks like Nico will survive as a result.
Very, very nice from BDZ there.
Not to be confused with the great B-Diz of NA.
Yep.
Very illustrious career.
He quit professional Dota and became a bodybuilder.
Is that true?
No, he's just in really good shape.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually. That's true. Yo Wei, I'm going to try to remember how to say his name because it was specifically threatened to us by their manager. Oh, Wi-Fi pops that Blade Fury. Looks like he gets the kill, but will he survive? The Healing Ward comes out. BDZ trying to chase it down. It might be his demise. See if they can find him though, as the Healing Ward will make its way around. So it's a nice regen here.
To the tower.
Suicide to the tower. So 4-4.
Very action-packed. We had this many kills in the last game at minute 17, I think.
That's true. I mean, it is an Axe and it is a Darkseer, so it feels like they're just forcing it. Those heroes just fits that play style.
I really enjoy watching laning stages like this where people are very much trying to pressure rather than just settling, you know? And it is very lineup based whether you can do this or not, but when you have heroes that can put pressure, I feel like that's the most enjoyable part of Dota, is just seeing people go at it. Sure, many viewers would agree. Some people also like watching people in the jungle for 25 minutes, but that's...
I mean, I missed the level 1 LC jungle, I won't lie, Synderen. Definitely a degenerate.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
And have 0 impact on the game, of course.
Yeah, it's kind of a given, your LC jungle.
Yep. But what are your thoughts on Darkseer this patch? Been seeing it a little bit more. It was kind of lost for a couple patches, I want to say. I feel like the Aghanims, I'm not sure how fast you get it, but it feels like a purchase you get pretty consistently. The Ion Shell, you get the double charges, it lasts longer, and you get the 300 HP per target.
I think as usual, Darkseer is a team-dependent hero. There's a lot of offlaners where it feels like you can just pick them in any lineup. I don't think Darkseer is one of those. Like, you want a good Ion Shell carrier, you want a good combo with Vacuum ideally, and to make it a really good Darkseer game, you also want a good matchup in the safe lane. And he actually has all 3 this game. So he has Ion Shell carriers in Mag and Jug, and Nyx. He has a lane matchup against a melee carry that he fares relatively well against. I wouldn't say Wraith King is the best, but you're going to farm. And they have the Vacuum combo into Static Storm, into Nyx Stun, into RP. So ticks all the boxes for a great Darkseer game. If you can pull it off like that and you have a player on it, I think the hero is great this patch. Like you said, the Axe is one of my favorite Axe of the game right now. I think it's very, very strong. Gives you great timing. Fly.
Yep, Nico getting chased down.
He's dead, actually.
Looks like the Blade Fury should be enough with that last right click, but there's the coil rotation from Yo Wei. And a nice toss out of the break. And Yo Wei takes that kill for himself. So at least they get something out of it. I mean, that's a Jug dead. That's pretty big.
It is. Axe is suffering a little bit, though. He's rushing that Vanguard, so he doesn't have boots. And he can't really create any distance to the Jugger. It's very, very easy for him to
It's always awkward when you know you need to get Vanguard super fast, but then you're against a freaking Juggernaut that just chases you down.
Yeah.
It's like, do I go boots? Do I not?
I wonder if there's a case to be made for buying the Vitality booster before the Ring of Health, actually, because the way you die is 100 to 0, right?
Yeah, true.
So maybe the Vit booster could have saved him there instead of the Ring. But obviously it feels good to have the Ring against all the consistent harassment. Anyway. Bottom lane, they're going to see a tiny rotation. This is probably going to be a very unexpected play for IG. They are not ready whatsoever for this.
Ray Fire Blast into the cold feet. What? Really? Just out of range for JT and that surge. There's the Ava toss back into the fray. Impale comes out, but Kaka Looks like he'll end up dropping here to the last right click of RR. So nice rotation.
He's level 6.
Oh wow, that's that's an Ice Blast coming out. Doesn't look like it'll connect though.
It did not.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's pretty clear that it did not based on the minimap, but
I know. I was
I like
looking
the
for
suspense.
I had nothing to say,
It's good.
so I said something.
Nico now has that Vanguard, so he's going to be pretty tough to kill. I mean, what is your build on Juggernaut these days? Like, what do you like to see? Because, like, we see a lot of, I mean, it depends on the game, but Maelstrom seems to be pretty common. Obviously, Manta is very common, or an SNY, depending on which is better that specific game.
Right. So I think Juggernaut maybe in a way follows a bit of the same trend as Ursa we talked about in Game 1 today, where Ursa went Diffusal and does that a lot, where Jugger, instead of going Battle Fury, will try to play a faster timing. So items like Yasha, full-on SNY, Manta, Diffusal is an option sometimes, and the Maelstrom. If you want to go the farm-heavy route, I think Maelstrom is probably usually the best one, because once you go Battle Fury, you're really hard committed to farming, right? With the Maelstrom, you're actually a relatively good asset in fights too, with your Omnislash doing a lot of spread damage.
Yep.
So I would say, for well-roundedness sake, I would like to see a Maelstrom. In this game, he's with Mag, so obviously has that cleave benefit, and that makes agility a lot better than usual, because he gets the extra damage, so we will see him rushing a Yasha here.
Yeah, another Surge comes out.
It's a good dodge.
Dodge on the Ice Blast, but there's the toss. As it is an AA being tossed, so maybe not the most useful.
You'd think it would shatter from the fall.
Yeah, that's true. They should add that as a mechanic. Now that they got rid of the toss buyback thing, they need to make something equally stupid.
Yep.
To make up for it, I think. I mean, the punch hook is still in the game.
Don't worry. It'll get fixed in 4 years when it happens in an important game.
I think that's important. It wasn't really a fix, though.
No.
Like, it was clearly a feature because they didn't say fixed in the patch notes, which seems to be their MO. So, very cool to see. And Emo right now, top of the net worth along with Fly. So IG up to, a decent start in terms of just getting their farm right now. Emo with the Empower level 4 ready to go. Oh, they're going to find Nico. I mean, he's pretty tanky, but you have 3 members of IG here. And they're going to expend RP on top of that, just in case, into the skewer.
My kill.
I mean, he wants to double check, He's like, I'm close to blink. Let me just get that out there.
No, the thing I love about that is not that he only skewers him. He skewers him so far away into the tower that he almost got his team out of XP range. That would have been pretty cool.
Winning Rift, though, so they end up trading here. And the Juggernaut is obviously a very big kill again. So that's the second death now for Fly. So Execration doing a good job of kind of shutting him down to a degree.
I like Yoei's movements this game. He's doing a very good job at being quick. Sure, he doesn't counteract the play as it is happening for Axe. He can't get there that fast, but he makes sure the trade happens both times now that they commit onto Axe in the top lane. And in the meantime, he still connects back to mid relatively fast here to push this mid tower. And I really like what they're doing here. They're spawning the skeletons mid together with the siege creep. He's a little bit scared of committing. They got some decent chip damage on the tower at least. Probably get it down to about half.
Yeah, but during this time we see, I mean, they killed Juggernaut a couple times, but with Empower, he's going to be able to obviously farm that up again pretty quickly.
Good
see the skewer in, and the Impale to stop things out, and as the Avalanche was the only spell able to be used there from BDZ. So yeah, 1K net worth advantage for IG right now, and like with this type of pace, which team would you favor? Like, we're seeing a bunch of kills, but it feels like most of it is just trading back and forth.
Right. So just strictly off of lineup, I think IG breaking even is good at this point. They will be able to transition and get this Empower farm on the Jugger and get him ahead, probably. So just strictly lineup based, I would say that. I also think IG on paper probably the stronger team, so maybe a little bit of an extra plus for them. They will lose their top tier 1 tower though. First tower of the game goes the way of Execration. Even though the Axe has been killed twice, he still gets a 12-minute tower. That's not too shabby.
Yep.
We'll be bottling up the Arcane Rune here. Or he's actually mating Emo. Beautiful.
Royal into the AA, but not even needing that AA ult, but a big kill onto Emo, and they'll turn this into a tier 1 tower in all likelihood if Kaka perhaps can get a denial, though. TP support is coming. And yeah, despite Carapace, won't be there in time, and the Static Storm will completely whiff, as Yoei is just super aggressive past the tier 1 tower. Even the Wraith King has come to play. They're going to find 2 kills off the top of that.
Just awesome play from Yoei there. So first of all, he gets Carapaced, so he anticipates that the stun is coming. But not only that, he throws out his orb, so he can get out of the Static Storm too. So dodges the gank, gets the mid tower, and he got the kill on the Mag. Just big play from Execration so far in this game out of that guy.
Yeah, definitely looking good so far.
They have a top 2 net worth all of a sudden. And now with these 2 towers down, I think, oh, RP.
Yep, into the skewer. This is a very tanky axe. He's going to attempt to TP out. It looks like he'll be successful. And that's an RP down. Of course, Omni Slash, I mean, it was available. Level 1 Omni Slash is probably not enough to get that kill in time.
No. Yeah, a bit of a mistake from Emo. He has to save one of the spells. Oh, well, he did. Did he use both
under attack.
He used RP and Skewer, right? Yeah, he had the Arcane Ring. Right. So, yeah, just has to save one of them there. A little bit of a mistake, because I don't think Axe gets out of that. You have the Skewer slow, you have the Shockwave to keep him in place against Jug, and then you can get an RP after. Got a little bit eager.
I actually miss this type of a Magnus, like the Magnus mid where you go Blink into Echo Saber, and then I assume like a BKB, or if you want to get really greedy, Daedalus or something like that. Super fun to watch.
This is such a BKB game for both teams, though. I really want that item. And Palos is going the armlet.
Exactly what you asked for.
Very, very happy to see that choice.
Well, he's going to find the entirety of IG.
Skills is all
1 life. Yeah, he's armlet toggling pretty well. It's going to be 1 life. Level 1. Static Storm on top. Into the kinetic field. There's the Omni Slash. Actually gets it onto the AA, so that's probably the best case scenario for Execration. Now the TP support comes Yowei with that coil. Keeps everybody in place for now, but now he's the one in trouble. Looks like they'll find him with that skewer. The toss back in with the glimpse, so they end up having a little party there as BDZ ends up being the 3rd dead for Execration. It looked pretty good when the Omni Slash was on top of A. I mean, at the very least, Wraith King survives.
Yeah, I love the play from Vincenzo to try to tank the Omni. That was very clearly on purpose, and it did keep the Wraith King alive, but just got a little bit overwhelmed on numbers. Axe could not connect to this play, so effectively it was just, I believe, a 5-on-4, right? The whole of IG was down here. They're going to get the tower. And they're going to back off. And RP not expended in that fight, so keep that in mind. There is a possible move to be made.
And he's about to pick up his Echo Saber, so that's a decent power spike. And on top of that, they got the Wraith King ult. So that is, I believe, the longest ultimate cooldown in the entire game, the level 1 reincarnation.
By far.
You have plenty of time to try to take him out again.
It's only 200 seconds now. It used to be 300.
It used to be, yeah.
It was like,
it was absurd.
Insanely long, but still 200 seconds. That almost makes it not the longest anymore, I think, right?
200 seconds?
What's Black Hole? Isn't it 3? Am I imagining this? Is it 3 minutes? Level 1? Black Hole is also 200. They're actually tied.
Wow. Today I learned. Thank you, Cinderin.
But you're still technically correct. It's just tied from bonus, maybe.
Oh, Emo with the RP into the skewer. Oh, the hole on the 3 into the A. Big wombo combo. IG getting decimated in this fight as Kako will be the 3rd to fall. It ended up being a great bait. Let me just take the RP and the skewer and we win the fight. Great job by Execration.
What an awesome call. Damn. That's one of those things. Effie was talking about this on the panel, right? It's such a treat playing AA when you have like 3 friends that all set up Ice Blast. There's just so many ways, and that one was just a total layup. 3-man call into Ice Blast.
Great reference, Cinder. Thank you.
I was thinking about it mainly in terms of volleyball, not basketball. Don't flatter yourself, but
volleyball has a layup?
Isn't it called a layup when you set it up for the smash in the front?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's right. You don't
watch volleyball.
You don't watch.
I thought you were inspired by the 1/2 of basketball you watched with me finally.
Yeah, it was pretty inspiring. You kept saying that the judge was being super unfair and going against you, and it was in fact completely even. So
no, that's not true.
I learned a lot about fanship.
They're not called judges; they're refs.
Yeah,
just throwing it out there.
I mean, he basically had a hammer, so.
I mean, in a way they do.
Yeah.
So 1K net worth lead for Execration right now. I mean, looking at both lineups, obviously, I guess Wraith King, both lineups can probably do Roche decently well, but once Wraith King gets that Deso, it becomes way more in favor of Execration. If they can just get a pick off or 2, then Roche advantage is clearly that for them.
Always have to be scared of the wombo combo. Even if you do kill a hero on IG's side, they have a great Roche contesting lineup. Darkseer is always great in the pit because you can just throw the wall from fog, get information.
Wow, this is a really early Axe, by the way, for Darkseer. It's literally first item.
It's that good, especially in this game. I love the choice to get this first. You generally see either Darkseers go auras. In this game, you could have also opted for, say, a pipe against the massive magic damage from Tiny Puck AA. But the Axe is an indirect pipe as long as you enter the fight with the shells on, because everyone has extra max HP, right? So you're able to probably hit a really strong timing here. They're gonna smoke. Okay, Vincenzo breaking that. He's gonna die, but that's,
I mean, that is mega worth if he's the only one that dies here. I'm gonna see the call here. Onto the Nyx Assassin to the wall. put in place by JT into the mist
miscommunication.
impale. Nico, he's very healthy. Kaka, not so much. Looks like he'll be chased down. Likely will be called here.
Oh, they failed the call.
Yeah, they missed it, but they kill him in the end, I believe. His A is taken out. Wraith King, that's the first ult into the RP. Juggernaut still alive. Gets off the blade here at the last moment. Doing a really good job of hiding all this damage. And Palos is going to be taken out in quick succession, but it's going to be a trade. They do get the Juggernaut yet again.
That was a little bit bizarre to watch relative to the crispness of the rest of the game. There were so many things missed there.
Nyx lived, actually.
Yeah, Nyx lived. Nyx completely whiffed the stun on the back wall. A little bit of miscommunication for both teams. Got a little bit messy.
It was Kale, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. A lot of lag. Somehow.
I mean, there's no LAN mode, technically, right?
Technically, you're right.
Which is kind of weird, but hasn't been a problem, so that is perfectly fine.
That would have been really great for IG if Flyfly had lived, but he did end up going down just barely in the end.
What do you think of this puck build, by the way?
I think it's really, really good.
I mean, this seems to be like the pretty much the standard,
It's
right?
the go-to, yeah.
Witchblade into Kaya Sange.
Yeah, the first two items are pretty much the norm, right? You usually go Blink into Witchblade or the other way around, and then you will see either Kaya Sange or sometimes, rare occasions, BKB. If it's like a really bad, you could argue for BKB here, right? You're against Disruptor Nyx. It wouldn't be a bad choice, I think. Sometimes you will see Yules, sometimes you will see Lincolns, depending on the game. Kaya Sange is an all-round item. It gives you more damage, and it gives you that status resistance that it can be very, very nice against these stuns, but it doesn't help against Static Storm. So if he does get caught in this with a Kaya Sange, yeah, it's great. You have that status resist. It does nothing, really.
Right.
So he will have to play around that. All in all, I honestly really like BKB as a choice because it means he limits his problems to literally one, which is RP. He could ignore everything else when he goes in, play with a lot of freedom, and not get counterplayed. I think other players would go, oh, he's
Kaka with the Impale. Brilliant bottom with the Vendetta just to make sure that he gets into a Static Storm. A-Blast is coming. Looks like Axe will fall in addition, so 2-0 to start things out. And BDZ looks to be next on the list as Flyfly comes into the fray. This is literally all 5 members of IG. A triple kill for Emo, so he ensures that he gets the farm yet again, Cinder, to get that, I mean, he's pretty close to BKB. And this could be a Roche. This could be a pretty big deal.
It really could. They do have the damage here. They have double Ion Shells, Healing Ward. They're good to go.
And this, I feel like this is almost like a steal of Roche because now that Deso's online for Wraith King.
In a way, he's even getting zoned off here by Kaka. Misses the Carapace timing.
Yeah.
He's actually in trouble now.
He might die, but this could be the death of Palos instead. As he gets skewered onto the other side of the map, and his ult is up right now. That'll be death number 1. Another TP support in the form of Execration, but the big glimpse back. Looks like they'll find the AA Blast at the very least to take out the Juggernaut yet again. And Super will follow. And the coil applied to the Darkseer. Has Surge in a moment. See if he can get away with just this. Wraithfire Blast will connect and lose your orb into the call. And a nice turnaround for Execration. And this could be their road.
I do not like that play from IG one bit. I think sending Nyx up there to scout and just defend against, just get information, I really like that. I thought that's what they were going for. They're going to plant Kaka there. He's just going to gather information. He misses the Carapace on Palos' crit, and then I think the call is he needs help. And they walk over, but you got to realize the top tier 1 tower is still on for Radiant. They have 3 heroes respawning after 5 seconds, and you basically just set them up for 4 kills in a row. And this was IG's choice. There's so many options there. You can either not send the Nyx up there at all. You can send him up there, and then he messed up. It happens. He dies. And maybe you still get Roche, or you don't go for Roche at all. This was the worst possible outcome IG could have had whatsoever in that.
I'm not sure the exact timing, but it was pretty close to his ult not being back on the Wraith King. I don't know if they were timing. It was like extremely close.
Right.
So, I mean, if they get that kill, maybe it's a different outcome.
Did they even kill him once? They did kill him once?
Kill him once.
They did kill him once.
So it's on cooldown right now again.
I feel like even if they do that, they don't get the Roche, right? Like, if they kill him off and they trade for Nyx, the defense is there from Execration to hold the Roche. So that's a very big moment in the game we just saw there.
Yeah, Execration, obviously with that Aegis on the Wraith King. And he's going for Basher. Sange into Basher. So, I mean, we talked about this last game, but Sange has been nerfed over and over and over, and it's still being picked up pretty much every game. I'm not sure at what point it just becomes not worth it, but not to be... I mean, it's not just for the status resist on him, but obviously because of his lifesteal, it just gets amplified. So
what if
it's just a lot of benefits.
What if you lost health every second like Armlet while you carry a Sanj? Then I think people would stop picking it.
Yeah, that's a great nerf. I think you should be on the Ice Frog beta testing team.
I think so too.
I see a call. A blast is coming.
That is not a
He's
connection.
gonna dodge it. Yeah, perhaps expecting some TPs a little bit earlier. Nico's gonna get glimpsed back into the kinetic field, and with the BKB, Emo's able to clean him up pretty easily.
Little bit messy here from both teams. Like IG's mistake at Roche, this was a very optimistic go as well from the Axe with all these heroes missing in this pretty precarious position next to the tier 2. BDZ gonna look to stop Jugger. Has no TP. So Fly is in an interesting position here. Stranded.
Yeah, and they know he doesn't have a TP. Perhaps they're playing a little bit coy, but at least I assume they know he doesn't have a TP.
If he checked him there, he should be dead now.
Yeah.
I actually think he didn't realize.
Huh. Well, now he's going to show, and
Wait a minute.
nice. All right, well, reinforcements have arrived now for IG, so this will be a tier 1 top. I mean, 23 minutes, tier 1 top still available. I mean, the mid tower for Execration is also still there.
Yep.
I mean, what do you think of this build on Wraith King? Sage into Basher. Like, what do you turn the Sage into? Like a Halberd for later?
Yeah, you probably get Halberd against Jugger, right? I don't know if you go SNY. The status resist is pretty good. For Wraith King, it's a bit different than for Puck, right? Because having the status resist, you have the 2 lives, so even if you get static stormed on the first life, the status resist matters on your second one.
Unless you get a refresher on Disruptor Synderen. What did you think about that?
I did not think about that.
No.
That's because when I play Disruptor, I do never get a refresher.
No, maybe that's your mistake.
That is my mistake.
Think about that?
My bad. I'll have refresher next game.
Very good. Have you ever seen Disruptor Shard in a game? It's the Thunderstrike on teammates.
Yes, I have.
Is it good?
It's okay, I think. It's not great.
I mean, it's like it gives you a speed boost and I think like attack speed, I want to say.
Yeah.
Temporary.
And it makes the AoE bigger, I think, around you as well, right? So you deal more, like you hit a larger
Kind
area.
of cool. I really like that not to go off on a tangent, but the shards, they've really made like these heroes that have been pigeonholed into a specific type of game style, just change it. Like Dazzle, for example. Like you can sheep a bunch of illusions, and we talked about Bane last series. I think it just opens up so many different possibilities and versatility for a lot of these heroes. Wraith King, on the other hand, it's just a talent. The no mana for ult. Oh, and you get some skeletons when you ult as well. Whoopee.
Yeah. It wouldn't be on topic for Wraith King to have complexity, right?
That's true. But he does have 2 clickables now.
He does.
So.
And his third skill is not chance.
That's
so
true.
You can actually
Man,
skill.
What a quality of life. I feel bad for Chaos Knight because he had to take the bullet for that, but because that was literally his skill. They just flip-flopped him, but it feels so nice knowing that you can get a last hit when you're really bad at the game center. I'm sure you can relate. Anyway, Palace is going to be pounding upon this tier 2 bottom lane as Synderen is brooding in the background.
I'm just sad that I'm bad at the game. Just leave me alone.
The truth is everybody's bad at the game.
I mean, that is actually true. That's why we're all sad together.
Yes, a very sad existence we have in this community.
Oh, damn, this lifesteal is just nutty. Yeah. I think we're going to see a smoke here from IG. They're going to give up this tower, but then they're going to try to use it to get a backstab, I think. Maybe not. Do they actually not have smokes?
Oh, I just realized he has Shard on Wraith King already. Wow. I mean, they have mana burn.
Yeah. He's protecting himself, basically.
Blast. Fly's gonna pop his blade spear. Here comes Emo. That is a big kill onto the Axe to start things off. It's the first slice for Palace about to come out. He's surviving a little bit longer. There's the coil onto Nyx Assassin. Omni Slash to follow. Fly trying to beat down BDZ. Is this finally the RP's reserved just for Puck? Will it be enough? Indeed it will. 3 for 1. They kill the Nyx Assassin to start the fight, but it's going to cost them 4 of their members. IG. This is such a back and forth game.
Yeah, it was very crucial that Fly got off that Omni Slash there. He was about to get coiled, and if he gets coiled there, I think that fight goes... It could easily have gone Execration's way. Like, every fight is very, very close. But getting that Omni Slash off, afterwards he gets off the healing ward, the Ice Blast expires, and they're able to...
I really like that Emo is being super patient with the RPs. So many times you see 1 hero, 2 heroes, you just go for it, but he's going specifically for Puck because they know that they will have a hard time killing him.
RPing Wraith King just sucks, right? Like, it just doesn't feel good. You don't want to use it on him. I think if he's presented with the option of RPing, say, Axe plus Tiny, I think he'll go for it. It's the 2 really key stuns catches that Execration have outside of the Puck. so that could have easily worked too. But
ooh, ceremonial robe on Mr. Magnus as well. I don't know if he's going to keep it, but
it's not bad.
Yeah, seems like a pretty good Magnus item. Well, he gives it up though. He just loves that bullwhip. I mean, some people have like this ADD in the game where they just have to click something, and bullwhip is a really good
That's true.
Neutral item.
And some people just love self-flagellation.
That's okay. I mean, that's an Arkosh gaming thing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Did you check Arkosh's games? Did they have bullwhip in every game they won?
Oh, that's a good question. We should look that up.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Definitely a
under
very
attack.
interesting statistic that we'll keep in mind for the future.
Kaka's dead.
Yep. Coil into a blast. Yoe. Oh, we have a static storm in the kinetic field, though. Is this enough to take out the puck? Indeed. The right clicks from Emo. My goodness.
Told you
so
Kaka's
much
dead.
damage. Yeah, you were correct. It only cost them their mid puck, though. It's whatever. And Emo is the most farmed hero on the map right now.
I think this guy has really impressed just internationally. Like, obviously they won the major, right, and everything, but Emo has, his stock has risen so much in the last, I want to say,
wow,
half a year.
Such a cool build.
This guy is super legit.
Cool
they're gonna find. Oh, this is a problem.
Yeah.
They can actually just run him down.
Yeah, nobody will near. Although a couple people TP in. Nico with the attempt in the call. 2 heroes there. Wraith King will get his first life expended. RP being faked out. Nico's gonna be a pretty easy kill to clean up now. And I believe with that, IG is just gonna fall back. But Puck flies back into the game, and that's actually what's predicating this fallback for IG.
Yep. But they can still reset. They have healing wards, so they're nice and healthy. They only lost Disruptor.
Yeah, they still have RP.
They're stronger.
They can definitely fight. Wraith King ult's still down, but it is level 3, so it'll be not too long before it's up again.
And I like this from IG, that they play aggressive in the enemy triangle here. It gets 4 against 4. Sure, Axe might have a buyback and TP on the tower, but you have positional advantage. You're still very strong with the RP ready.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They find, and his ult is coming back, though. I'm not sure if they're timing this. There's the Bloodthorn. Coil to follow, though. And Emo pops the BKB. They're just going to pound upon Paolo. So that's one death. It's going to cost Emo his life, though. Now Kaka in a precarious spot, as Paulus is going to come back to life and just beat him down with his stick. That's a stick, by the way, not a sword. It's a new cosmetic. Fly on now on the run.
I'm starting to see a pattern here, Shannon. It's almost like when they go on Wraith King first, next to something that the enemy team can TP on, it is not going well.
I mean, I don't know if it's like mistiming, because his ult just came back again. It was like all of these deaths have been like relatively close. 2 seconds as they were initiating on him. 2 seconds left.
He was level 19.
Yeah.
It's a 40-second cooldown.
I'm telling you. Understandable.
Right. If you give me a reason to trust you, I will.
I mean, that fight, that's a 3K.
He has this, like, yes, he's getting caught in RP, but the reason go on the back line, for example, because then he knows that to watch, just because both teams have like moments of brilliance and moments of like complete facepalm, right? It's very bizarre that you can have this amount of those moments in the same game from both teams. Did
you say he was finishing BKB on Puck? Because he has an A on disc right now.
Wait, did
he switch it up? Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, he changed his mind.
I mean, I don't dislike this either. I mean, he's getting blown up in like a lot of these fights.
Yeah, so this protects him against the RP. But if he gets RP now, he can just get static stormed.
Yeah, true.
So I don't know. I don't think this is the best choice.
Yeah. Okay, Axe is gonna jump in. All the pressure's gonna be applied to him. Big RP onto 3. Into the Blade Fury, into the static sort of kinetic field combination. Axe and Tiny buy back into the game. Puck will not have that luxury though. Wraith King, that's the first life. I mean, IG is still pretty healthy. Omnislash hasn't even been used yet, but it's gonna be used on a lot of the skeletons here. As Pierre in the background trying to keep IG at bay. I believe that is the... Oh, finally, Omnislash comes out, and Miko's going to take the brunt of the damage, so Wraith King finally dies, and it costs IG nothing. Only cooldowns. And healing ward up in 12 seconds so they can reset and just push.
The game's actually over, I'm afraid. It might just
jungling, Emo says, all right?
Yep. That's good.
I'm glad we got the voice lines back.
Yeah, they're in trouble. Like, if IG have the read here that there's no buybacks, I think it could go to your forest. But they might play it safe, take one lane of barracks. I still think they should hit some tier 4s to try to force a reaction. You've got healing ward, you've got escape plans.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. So that's why I thought there was 2 Omni Slides. It was a Swift Slash originally.
Right.
Like I'm not used to seeing Ags when you don't really have attack speed yet.
Right.
It's just Manta.
Yeah, he has
kind of interesting.
And power still helps a lot too.
Yeah,
though.
true.
It's not bad. All right, they're gonna play very, very conservatively.
Roche #2.
Yeah, they get the Roche. I think if Roche isn't up, they go for some tier 4 damage there. They're like, we'll get the other objective. I can respect this. Like,
all right, we're probably gonna see Juggernaut take the shard, okay, which is good. It's very good.
Very, very.
I would love to see Horn Toss though. All right, I need to see Horn Toss in my life.
That is why Juggernaut will take this.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So yeah, that gives a bunch of move speed extra for Blade Fury, and you proc attacks on hits, 75% damage or something like that. So very, very strong. Of course, with Scotty, it makes it even more powerful. Typically, you see like a Maelstrom to help proc extra stuff, but that's more of an early game item. But yeah, very good shard for Juggernaut.
And they can even transition into taking top tier 2 off of this because they have the Aegis and Cheese advantage. And Execration are not interested in trying to defend this, so down it goes.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, looks like he's working towards an MKB now. Of course, they have Cheese on the old Magnus. All right, the more games we see with just a casual Sage, the more that possibilities that's going to get nerfed again. I feel like it should not be okay to get to late game and just have a Sage. You know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be good.
Wait, who did you say has it?
Magnus.
Magnus also has one.
Yeah.
But he didn't buy it until now, right? Or did he?
No, he had it earlier.
He had it earlier.
Yeah.
I just
because he's building AC now, so.
Right.
I mean,
do you know why people are buying it largely? Just because it has status resistance, Shannon. And status resistance is a really good stat that everybody loves.
First and foremost, Cinderin is a big hater on status resist. I personally love it because it makes BKB less good. It means you don't have to buy it literally every game, which I think is terrific for the game personally. But I believe most people will agree with me on this.
Hate is a big word.
This is true.
I have a slight dislike for status resistance.
I don't think that's true. Slight dislike is...
You know what?
You have a slight dislike of me.
It's probably because my perspective is from a support, right? And I'm like, I hate when my spells, which is the only thing you have as position 5, like later on in the game you maybe have 1 Force Staff and your spells. It sucks when your spells don't even work anymore.
Yeah, but don't, I mean, I know it's not readily, what's the right way to put this? Like, the spells have been buffed since status resistance was introduced to make up for it. You realize that, right?
Talents definitely help.
And talents, sure. Yeah. And then there's spell amp, and there's all this extra garbage for it.
I don't like this. It's kind of like a swap of roles where you're being logical and I'm being emotional. So can you please just say, just make some noises?
All right, I want a second Roche in the game.
Yeah, of course. Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Yep, and you wanted to drop Ion Cannon Beacon.
That sounds great. I mean, hey, you know, something that people were kind of mad about when it first came out that they don't really care about is Scan. Like, if you think about it, that is really weird that that's in Dota still. Like, if I think about it, even the name is weird, right?
It's pretty weird.
But it's just, you know, it's one of those things you just get used to. This Fly on the doorstep of Execration. Of course, this is a 2-game series for the wildcard, as Emo is not going to be able to get that skewer going.
That would have been a potential game-ending skewer. They were not in a position to help Wraith King there at all. Axis top.
Yep.
His teammates were all the way deep in the base. Good spin into the instant silence from the Mindbreaker.
Yep, that's good stuff. It's a nice little combination.
Puck has kind of compromised his position entirely against Static Storm.
Bloodthorn, he had to yield it up, and now the Static Storm comes into play. And this does pop with a double impale into the Omni Slasher, probably a Swift Flash for all I know. They're going to be able to take out the puck, and I know he does not have buyback, and there is the RP onto 2. This should be GG, as IG taking this pretty convincingly after kind of a, I want to say, a big back and forth for the first 15-20 minutes.
That is why I didn't like Antisk very much there. At least if you make that play, right? Like, the moment you're in and you're relying on your Antis to save you, you're against Static Storm. You're just gonna die. Like, there's just no save there. If he has a BKB, maybe it's a different start, but... GG! GG
is called, apparently. So yeah, IG takes game 1, which, you know, there's some question marks about, you know, with the substitution and all for Ollie and whatnot, that, you know, how strong will they be, but they did win the last major, even with